Hi girls, welcome to a new video, and for today I'm going to share with you 7 hacks that you can do tonight that will make you healthier by morning. I often share all of my very early morning routines, and I'm constantly asked, how do I wake up that early? Am I a morning person? And the answer to that question is no, I'm not naturally a morning person. Over the last 9 years of becoming a parent, I have forced myself to wake up early before my kids and to start my day before they wake up. But in that time, I've definitely over the years had to reevaluate my schedule and more than anything, get myself the most incredible, deep, restful sleep. I am innately somebody who could stay up to the later hours in the evening. However, with many of the hacks I'm going to share with you today, it helps me get incredible, deep, restful sleep, and more than anything, it helps me feel refreshed in the morning when I wake up. So the first thing that I focus on is before I even head upstairs to shower and start to unwind for bed, and that is to take my evening supplements. So it is so important. We all know the value of taking magnesium for deep, restful sleep, but I am actually somebody who takes 1 magnesium in the morning for cognition and for brain health and for energy. Likewise, I take one right around 2:30 in the afternoon, but I always, without fail, take a minimum of 2 of the BioOptimizer's magnesium breakthrough before I head upstairs to get ready for bed. So we all are very familiar with magnesium and how it does induce deep, restful sleep. But the beautiful thing about the BioOptimizer's magnesium is that it does contain all 7 forms of elemental magnesium in one convenient capsule. And so what this does is, like I said, it does help earlier in the day with cognition and energy and stress reduction. And then likewise, of course, it helps me get the most incredible, deep, restful sleep. I've been taking the magnesium breakthrough for 2.5 years on a daily basis. And the one thing that I noticed right away when I started taking the magnesium is that I got a 30% lift in my deep, restful sleep on my Aura ring. Now, I changed nothing else in my routine, but I immediately noticed that lift. And to me, at that point, knew I could not be without this product. So I am working with BioOptimizers on today's video. And so you can use my link and my code in the description box down below, as well as the first pinned comment to save 10%. And then when you do use my link and my code, you also could be entered into special giveaways and bundles as well. So the first thing that we're going to do to hack our sleep and get the most incredible rest is to take our magnesium before we begin the rest of our evening routine. So I take my magnesium, I head upstairs, I hop in the shower, and when I get out of the shower, I do all of my skincare routine, and then I have been using red light therapy. So red light is incredible for helping our body begin to produce its own melatonin versus we're all very familiar with the impacts of blue light. So whether the blue light from our phones or the blue light from the screen on the television, iPad, you name it, blue light actually interferes and intercepts the production of melatonin. Red light helps our body produce more of its own melatonin. So if you think about it, when the sun sets, likewise when the sun rises, but when the sun sets in the evening, it's orange, it's reddish, those beautiful tones, right? As the sun begins to set. Well, when we think about it through that perspective and through that lens, of course, it would make sense to bring a little bit more red light into our evening versus big, bright blue light, which is similar to the daylight right now that we're experiencing. It helps our body really train that beautiful circadian rhythm. Now, I don't want to confuse anybody because I also have been using a little bit of red light in the morning to help my body wake up and to also bring in some of that red light therapy for about 8 minutes in the morning to help my body also regulate that circadian rhythm. But in the evening time, when we can get our body to produce its own melatonin, which we all know is a hormone and a hormone synthesizer, this is incredible for ultimately helping us feel refreshed and better the next day. So the way I've been getting in red light therapy is with the Bond Charge. And I absolutely love this mask. It is so comfortable. The price point is amazing. Some of the red light therapy masks out there are an arm and a leg. They are so expensive, and I've done extensive research. I've been loving Bond Charge since they were Blue Block back like 8-9 years ago. No, this is not sponsored by Bond Charge. I just truly love this company and their products, and this mask is amazing. So I've just been doing the mask for 12 minutes at night after I get out of the shower, after I put my skincare on, and it is helping me fall asleep so quickly. So I have mine magnesium at this point. It's absorbing into my system. I've taken my shower and now I have my red light mask on. I don't think you can pay me at this point to stay awake because I'm so ready and relaxed for bed. So I do have a discount code for this red light mask, but you can use my discount code on anything on Bon Char's website. They have portable red light devices that you can use. They also have light bulbs. So if you have a lamp next to your bedside table, you could easily switch it out with one of the Bon Charge red light bulbs. And that would be an incredible upgrade to your evening routine to help you feel better the next morning. And then before hopping in bed, I know you've heard this one before, but listen to my take and my rationale behind this next tip. And that is to turn down the thermostat to at least 68 degrees, if not 65, especially now in the summer months. It's going to get extremely hot here this week, but the rationale behind turning down the thermostat is for hormone regulation. So when we can get that deep, restful sleep, you're going to produce more HGH, which is human growth hormone. And of course, the benefits of having more in our system, not only from a cognition standpoint, but from a metabolic standpoint, it helps our body with insulin sensitivity. So if you are somebody who struggles with PCOS, this would be a very helpful tip for you, but it helps our body with insulin sensitivity in burning more of that adipose brown fat. So we really want to ensure that, of course, we are dancing beautifully with our circadian rhythm, but also that when we do fall asleep, we're getting that deep, beautiful, restful sleep that induces more of that HGH and that human growth hormone production throughout the body. So now we're cozy in bed. Maybe you still have your red light therapy mask on. If your session is still going, you've turned down the heat, your magnesium is starting to kick in. Now is the time to get out our belly button oils. So I have been sharing about navel oiling over the last couple of months. I have done a tube short. I also have posted an Instagram reel with the recipe. I will have that linked for you in the description box down below. But I am a huge fan of navel oiling. And so it is exactly like it sounds. In this bottle here, I have frankincense resin and castor oil. So the beauty of navel oiling is it's going to help our body detox throughout the night. So of course, our body, our glymphatic system, highly connected to our lymphatic system, but our glymphatic system is supported by our major organs. And our liver's main job are to detox while we sleep. That's why it's so important to get that sleep and to ensure that our body can kind of take out the trash through the lymphatic system and through the liver, which is why I always encourage you that upon waking, we help finish the flush with the lemon ginger tonic. So throughout the night, our body is really pumping to flush out anything unused that we have come in contact with or consumed during the day. Well, navel oiling is an ancient Ayurvedic practice, and it's definitely been gaining popularity with the rise of popularity of castor oil, but this is nothing new. And the incredible benefits of navel oiling are honestly endless. But the one thing I will say to you is that if you just take 1 or 2 pumps of this oil, you can either just let it sit or rub it in. I like to just let it sit for about 2 or 3 minutes, and then eventually I do rub it in, but it is incredible for detoxification. It's also nearly impossible to stay awake after you've put this in your belly button because it helps your body unwind and begin to feel extremely sleepy. But the beautiful thing about navel oiling is that it supports our endocrine system, relieve menstrual discomfort. It also helps bolster our metabolism by supporting our thyroid, and it is incredible for adrenal health. So if you want to wake up feeling better the next day and you've had a really stressful day, then I would highly encourage you to begin including navel oiling into your routine because it is just a beautiful way to support the adrenals, to support our liver, to support our thyroid health, our metabolism, and our overall menstruation health. Now, I still want your husbands to be supportive of you watching my platform and my channel. We've already frightened and terrified them with our red light mask, and now we're going to be taping our mouths shut. But this is something that I was doing for many years. After my husband would fall asleep, I would just wait until he rolled over and fell asleep, and then I would go ahead and put on my mouth tape. But mouth taping is another one of these practices that is definitely gaining popularity. So the idea from many perspectives, from an oral health perspective of breathing through our mouth, it definitely can help us incur a lot of cavities. So from a dental hygiene perspective, breathing through our nose is highly important. But from a nervous system standpoint, and as somebody who has studied women's hormone health as a nutritionist, our nervous system is so closely linked to our hormones that anything we can do to support a cool, calm, collected nervous system is something I would recommend. Now, the rationale behind taping our mouth at night is vast, but for me, it comes down to encouraging encouraging the body to have a more steady breathing pattern throughout the night. Therefore, we're not seeing extreme spikes because that does not help our body get that deep, restful sleep. So when we use mouth tape, what this does is this encourages functional breathing through our diaphragm versus that shorter breath that we would typically get if we're breathing through our mouth. And this encourages upwards of 20% more oxygen coming into our body. So if we're getting more oxygen in, we're cleansing. So kind of going back to the naval oiling and the lymphatic system, we're encouraging more of that cleansing capacity to continue to go throughout the night. In addition to that, you're going to wake up and feel significantly more rested when you're breathing through your nose. And so I think it's a really beautiful practice. Also, from a vanity perspective, many people have reported brighter eyes, whiter eyes, a more defined jawline. It does increase the production of nitric acid, which also makes you feel more alert and sharp when you wake up in the morning. So if we want to wake up and we want to feel healthier and happier, then I would definitely encourage you to look into mouth taping. I will have some of my favorites linked for you girls in the description box down below. Now, I fully recognize I share a lot of devices on my channel because I am biohacking my way to 40. I'm on my glow up to 40, which is less than 2 months away. So we're getting really close, but there are just certain devices that have made my life substantially better. And the Oura Ring is one of them. So I've had my Oura Ring now for nearly 3 years. I wear it every single day. I check in with it every single day, multiple times a day. It is one of the best ways to get real insights into your sleep. So we may be guessing like, oh, I think I got this much sleep and I think I slept through the night. Whereas with some of these wearable devices, you can actually get a full picture of the type of sleep you're getting, how much deep restful sleep you're getting, the hours in which you may be waking. And all of this data is so important for me as a nutritionist. I check in with my clients on this type of data on a daily basis. So all of this data is so important for us to get a full scope and a picture of what's going on. And then we can kind of go in and pinpoint areas where we may need to do a little bit more work. Whereas if we're not monitoring our sleep, we're guessing we're kind of getting 7 hours of sleep, and then you get a wearable device and you find out you're actually getting 5.5 hours of sleep and only 10% of that is deep restful sleep. That's really great information for us to begin to make changes in our broader lifestyle, but also in our nighttime routine and bring in practices that will help us get into that deeper, more restful sleep. So if you want to feel healthier throughout the day in general, I would encourage the Oura Ring because it is by far one of the most accurate step trackers. But for me, from a resilience standpoint, from a sleep standpoint, I love the data that it gives me. That way I always say that we're testing, not guessing. We have an accurate depiction of what's actually happening. And then last but not least, but this one is highly motivating for me, and that is to program your coffee maker. Now, I understand that this may seem silly, but for me, when I can smell the coffee, it actually helps me get out of bed and want to get out of bed sooner. Now, I don't come downstairs and immediately go to the coffee and make the lemon ginger tonic first, but it is the aroma of the coffee that definitely gets me motivated to get out of bed. As I said at the beginning of this video, I am not innately a morning person, but just all of these little tips and tricks that I have that I've compiled and used over the years has definitely shifted my sleep schedule. And so even just a tiny little habit like programming the coffee maker, that aroma and that smell, it helps with my cognition in the morning. It makes me feel more alert. It gives me a sense of warmth and comfort, which we all associate with our warm, cozy bed. But when you can get up and you can smell the coffee, it also gives you that warmth and that comfort. So I know this one may seem silly, but definitely give it a try and see if nostalgia and the warm, cozy vibes help push you to be more alert and to wake up a little bit earlier. I hope that you enjoyed today's video. I hope that you found some really good tips and tricks. I also hope that you can begin implementing some of these tonight into your routine so you can get that beautiful sleep and ultimately feel like an even better version of yourself tomorrow. And if you like today's video, you can let me know by giving it a big thumbs up. And now the subscribe button is right over here on the screen. Give that a click, that way you don't miss a single video. And I hope to see you back here next Thursday.